like Nick, I predicted at All In before the show started, in the pre-show, I asked you in the chat, would Meltzer give Mercedes and Britt more stars than Tony?
You were right. You were right.
100%, but I didn't think he'd bury them on the process. Like, how does Tony Storm and Mariah get 1.5 stars? That's see, there's a collection of people that follow that mentality that Meltzer has. It blows my fucking mind that he watched that match, which I felt was arguably one of the best matches of the night, and then turn around and give Mercedes match, which was awful, horrific, horrible. You give that 1 point more, which is almost insulting. But Tony Storm and Mariah May deserve better. I think Dave is gutless, ballless, spineless, and he was terrified to give Tony more stars than the Bucks, more stars than Jericho, more stars than the fucking trios match. They both deserved way more credit than he gave them. And it's disgusting shit like this where there's a massive idiots just following this Pied Piper of assholism down the fucking road. And it just continues to baffle me that anybody follows this man, that listens to this man. If he was a racehorse, he'd be a fucking glue stick by now. He is awful.
Everybody just please clip this. Just timestamp this right now. And just tag at Meltzer, at Alvarez, all of that, because 100% my guy. I was like, I'm just waiting now to do the National Lampoon shit and just show up with Meltzer in a red bow. And everything.
Yeah, boss. And make Nick the fucking cousin and make me
I'm cousin Eddie, 100%. And you're Clark out there. That gutless, spineless
shitter's full.
That's all I can think of when you're going into that. I'm like,
the gutless,
this man's just fucking cooking right now. Cornette would be proud.
Yeah, we are back to the action. But it makes me mad. And again, like I said earlier, there's people out there I respect in this business that I read and watch their content that quote this guy. He's sitting in his fucking underwear with his dick stuck to his leg from fucking playing with himself from the night before, just making shit up. And people listen to it and people champion it. Last weekend, he was wrong about 3 things in a matter of like 3 days, including the death of a human being. Vitamins don't do that to you. Vitamins make you want to be honest.
Yeah, that's some other shit. That's that Cucamonga Kush right there.
Yeah. If Dave sat back and hit the blunt, he'd be like, yo, Jericho fucking sucks, bro. But he doesn't because he's going to hurt. 4 stars. You gave that Jericho match anything more than 2? More than 2. The fuck?
We'll talk about this at the next commercial when your blood pressure comes down.
I can't handle this shit.
I can't do a CPR through live stream. I can't. I don't know if it's 911 that works in Canada. You guys might be 811 or something.
All right, I'll take a drink. You can talk to me.
Just replace
it. It makes me so mad. The Meltzer shit is starting to make me mad because if we could get guys like Dave Meltzer out of the way, the wrestling world would be a better place. When people talk about tribalism, it is fucking assholes like Meltzer that is causing the tribalism. They are setting everything up on fire. They are the ones telling you that you can't like both. Dave has gone as far as saying AEW fans are clearly more intelligent, more educated, wealthier than like it's stupid fucking shit. That again, he should be exiled. I don't believe in canceling anybody, but this motherfucker should be ignored by everybody.
But the thing that he has, and that's the thing I was saying before of what even we're going against now with us being a channel and everything, we're still knocking goddamn doors down with it. Of literally, they just got in the door first.
Dave, because they've had public issues. Including the whole Dave being so insecure and pathetic that when Ospreay and Kenny Omega are poking at each other online, fucking Dave has to go public and be like, oh, sorry, it's just a gimmick. They don't really think I'm a loser. Yeah, we do think you're a loser. Shut the fuck up.
Right. As I've got
Izzy versus Carmen up next.
Right. It's Slash City up in here in NXT, but Spaz with a 5
for AEW. Meltzer's hurting AEW. Meltzer's one of the people that are causing people to not want to be fans of that product.
He perpetuates the stereotype of an AEW wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Him, JD, like if there is a stereotype as to wrestling fans and everything, and I hate that we're having to break down the fucking IWC like this. Like, why can't we all act like fucking adults? Like, Meltzer, you're old enough to be my grandfather, motherfucker. Like, act like a goddamn adult. As Adam's saying, Meltzer is a cool kid for the first time ever. Facts.
That's what happened. Yeah, he got into the fucking club. That's what it was. He was one of the in people with the Bucks and the fucking
you guys are the popular guys. So you like me.
Yeah. We're gonna call her Move the Meltzer driver, Dave. Thank you.
But so for those who haven't seen the actual Meltzer star ratings and everything, that again, people most of the time quote his opinions. I saw it was like Raj on Twitter that was like really quoted the fucking ums in a Meltzer quote. And there was just 3 in a row. Like, I know I'm not the most well-spoken human being, but I at least don't say that much. I say more.
I think I say more than I want to say but we're fucking live all the fucking time. The man is not articulate. The man can't write. You've been a writer for 40 years and you have no sense of grammar. How the fuck did that happen? Did your editor die? Did you fire the person that was proofreading? What the fuck happened? Why would you not? Meltzer's the final boss of Basement Marks. Yeah, when you come to the final level and you got to get through like garbage and old paperwork and food wrappers, and then he just shoots these things at you. Yeah,
no. He just shoots stars at you.
Ridiculous.
Now, what's the tier level? What's like the tower ranking? Does it go Alvarez, JD, Meltzer, or is there a switch up there?
Well, I think Alvarez has to be right. Like, he's like the guy right before him, just in the sense of like,
he's the general disarray to Professor Chaos there.
Yeah, like he's the one. He's the sacrificial lamb. Meltzer throws Brian out there for us to get our hands on him, and then runs off.
Right. But folks, let us know. Tell me Meltzer didn't give Mercedes versus Britt a higher rating than Tony versus Mariah. Cut to earlier on tonight.
Right. Do you know why part of me gets so kind of fired up about it? I think there's nothing worse when you know what the person's going to do to you. When you set yourself up and you know what's coming down the pipe. And in this case, I 100% knew what the motherfucker was going to do. I knew what Meltzer was going to do to support the company. There was no way, even if he gave Sasha a low mark to try and save face with the audience, there was no way Tony Storm and Mariah were going to get more. So because Sasha and Britt suck so bad, you shit on Tony Storm and Mariah May. That is atrocious. You give them the 4.5 stars you gave Jericho, because that, to me, if you ever go
to quote Chris Jericho,
right? If you hesitate and think maybe Meltzer isn't that bad, that 4.5 rating for the Jericho match tells you everything you need to know about Dave Meltzer. Like I said before, spineless, just an absolute jellyfish, and the fact that he even claims to be a reporter of any kind is an absolute embarrassment to anybody that's actually reporting on any of this shit.
But to sit there into where he gave Tony and Mariah May 1.5 stars, 1.5, like we're talking like Cameron, like from the Funkadactyls level star ratings with 1.5 type shit and everything. For Tony Storm versus Mariah May, the biggest story that every AW fan has been fucking clamoring for and saying this is in women's pro wrestling since Christ has been born and everything. And Dave Meltzer, their version of wrestling Mark Christ, sits there and gives it 1.5 stars. But because he gave everything else the approved ratings, it's all claps, all handshakes, all handoffs and everything all the way around.
And you know what, Nick? One thing I haven't said, that trios match, ladies and gentlemen, and if people out there thought that trios match was good, all the power to you. I don't try and tell people how they should think, like Meltzer. But for my money, dude, that match was boring. That match was over methodical. It was slow. the crescendo, and I agree, the gauntlet match deserved a whole bunch of stars. We didn't like the ending, but we can't punish it for not liking the finish. We can disagree with the finish, but the match was good. I want the AEW fans. I'm challenging the AEW fans. If you're truly an AEW tribalist, 1, get rid of Meltzer. 2, back to Meltzer. 2, start being honest. If you love something, make it known. If Big Bill's being buried and we want him booked, make it known. When you go to the building, cheer for those people. If you want Ricky Stark, start chanting, start hashtagging. You know Tony pays attention. That's why a guy like Dave has been so detrimental. And the people out there that just want to drink the Kool-Aid and turn a blind eye to the flaws, start being honest. This show has so much talent on it. It could get
any match between Danielson and Swerve was a good match. I still think that you gave fucking 6 stars to MJF versus Ospreay is fucking stupid. But
yeah,
even then, we've still. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna continue bitching and complaining the way I have been for the last 90 minutes.
I love it.
But no, I mean, again, the issue is he's undermining his own shit. Like, am I crazy? Is anyone in the chat right now like, come on, KJ, you know that Tony Storm match sucked? Is anybody else in this chat right now thinking like I'm off my rocker by feeling that way? But to give it less marks than the Jericho match, that's appalling. That's where I say he is a coward. Dave Meltzer is an absolute coward.
Yes, because I can say this from experience of the one time I started like to push back on him on anything and actually question him on anything. I got blocked on fucking Twitter.
The Tony Storm match was better than the Jericho match and the Mercedes Britt match. The Tony match was better than the trios match. Tony match was better than the tag match. Tony Storm and Mariah May had a really good wrestling match. It told a story. It made sense. It was believable. And it worked. But because some people jumped off some fucking ladders, Dave, are you that simple, Dave? You have 10 men laying around on the floor doing nothing. You're watching them actively sit, crisscross applesauce beside the ring. And because eventually they get up and climb a ladder and jump off it onto somebody, that's worth all the stars in the fucking world? Are you that simple? How about we get you a bouncy ball for Christmas? You can bounce it off the walls and give that all the stars in the world just because it's flippy and it's cool. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense. Tony Storm and Mariah May deserve all the stars. I don't get it. I don't get how anybody ever pays him money for his content. If Alvarez broke out on his own, Alvarez would do better. At least when I disagree with Alvarez, he has a reason, and I'd happily have an argument with Alvarez. Dave is just a ring rat. Dave is just a groupie. Dave is just, I don't know. Dave's sad and depressing. Chase U gimmick shit in, got that one. The ringworm. Nah, he's your fucking pond sucker. He's the fish on the side of the tank, the algae eater. That's Dave Meltzer. Because he doesn't really bring anything other than the fact that he swallows and pushes out shit. That's it. That's what he is. He is that algae eater at the bottom of the fucking tank that nobody pays attention to, nobody cares about, and literally just cleans up everyone else's garbage, is a benefactor of everyone else's leftovers. He tries to prop himself up like he's important, and he continually finds ways to be ignorant, to insult the intelligence of the wrestling fan base, and guys like Jim Cornette, guys like Eric, guys like even we had Big Ben on here. He's not the biggest fan of Meltzer. Had to take a break from beating him up. I think as a wrestling fan, I take such an issue with it because he is divisive, because he is pulling people apart, because he is misinformation, because he is a joke, because he is condescending, because he looks down on people like us here in this chat tonight, us hosting this show. He looks down on us. Oh, those idiots don't know what they're saying. I watch more wrestling than Dave Meltzer, I promise you.
And at times when it's so belligerent, it gets disgusting. Like, think about it. Bryan Danielson had not had a single 5-star match until he signed with AW, and he's since had 8 before All In.
Yeah, so it's silly. You might as well, like, again, he can do his stars all he wants. Nobody gives a fuck about them except a few guys that want to mark on themselves, like Jericho, whining and crying to make sure that Dave gives them good stars.
Which means matter. Which matters more is probably what I should have said. The stars in Mario Party or Dave Meltzer's stars.
Right? Fuck it.
They're both the same. You just got to pay a little bit to get them. That's all it is.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, dude, I think it's because it's become so predictable. Like, I'm able to say to you, holy shit, Meltzer's going to give the Sasha Banks match better. Even if, let's say, Sasha and Britt tore it down, they would have got a 4, and Tony and Mariah would have got a 3.
Even with the rest of the ratings for that show, Ospreay versus MJF, again, I reiterate, 6 stars. Again, Jack Perry versus Darby Allin, a match that got cut because they had to make sure they reached the curfew. So you're telling me your coffin match is where you choose to cut time?
Mm-hmm.
You have 37 people on a pre-show and everything like that, but your coffin match, your blood feud is where you choose to cut time?
Yeah, why not just get rid of the fucking Jericho match? Are you fucking stupid? Jesus Christ, save it for Collision.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking understand why every week I got to sit through a Jericho segment. It's fucking bad.
Folks, it is going back. It's at the wall. It might be gone.
Christ, like
that's so fucking ridiculous. It's differently abled is the best way I can put that.
The one and only pop or in that match. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. Big Bill got a big reaction. We joked about Big Bill getting that reaction. And then Taz. Nobody gave a we talked. We joked about Fozzy having the first ever negative attendance at a concert. That the rush to the urinal was overwhelming. That the fucking toilets were overflowing with piss during that match. And get the fuck out of here that it was anything above. Like, just be honest. Jericho, you gave us a shit match. Thank God for Taz. Can we go home now?
I still think that we haven't gotten full past even the surface with some of this shit. As, by the way, MDB